welcome to Camnet TV main news today, the 12th of August in the year 2025. Let's now take a look at the news headlines. Governance expert urges LUNGU family to accept court ruling on ECL repatriation. CSPR warns copper concentrate export tax suspension could erode revenue and threaten social spending. KWACHA appreciation to ease prices and boost economy, says expert. In international news, death of baby girl after suspected FGM sparks outrage in the Gambia. In sports, CHIPOLOPOLO team Dr. WESLEY NGONGO provides health update. For these and many more stories after the break.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those who have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Camnet TV main news now showing on Topstar channel 106, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and on the Mainstream app. With the new news in detail, I'm Tapelo Joe Smata. The Pretoria High Court has scheduled Friday, August 15th, 2025, to hear the LUNGU family's application for leave to appeal against an order directing that the late former President Edgar Lungu's body be repatriated to Zambia for a state funeral. In a notice issued by the court, all parties have been instructed to file their documents, including any heads of argument, by 15 hours on Wednesday, August 18th, 2025. On August 8th, 2025, the Zambian government secured a legal victory when the High Court ordered that Mr. Lungu's remains be handed over to Zambian authorities following his death on June 5th, 2025. The LUNGU family, dissatisfied with the decision, subsequently lodged an application for leave to appeal, which has temporarily halted the repatriation process. The order will remain suspended until the appeal is determined. If the appeal is unsuccessful, the body will be repatriated for a state funeral. However, if the court grants leave to appeal and the matter proceeds, the remains will not be sent to Zambia until the legal process is concluded. Meanwhile, governance and human rights advocate Wesley Mianda has urged the LUNGU family to accept government efforts to repatriate the remains of the late former President Edgar Lungu from South Africa for a state burial in Zambia. Mr. Mianda's appeal follows the Gauteng High Court in Pretoria's decision in favor of the Zambian government, which had sought an injunction to stop the burial planned for 25th July 2025 in South Africa. The ruling paves the way for Mr. Lungu to be laid to rest at Embassy Park in Lusaka in line with established state protocols for former heads of state. He says the late president, who served for 7 years, was a state asset whose final resting place should be on Zambian soil alongside other former leaders. Mr. Mianda commended the court for enabling what he described as a dignified send-off that reflects the late president's stature and contribution to the country. However, Mr. Mianda expressed concern over the family's continued resistance to the repatriation, particularly their reported insistence that President Hakainde Hichilema should not attend or be near the casket.
Suffice to say, the late President Mr. Edgar Lungu ruled Zambia for 7 years, which automatically qualified him to a state asset, even in his death. It is, therefore, the wish of every well-meaning Zambian that his remains be repatriated from South Africa and be buried on the Zambian soil, specifically at Embers Park, where the rest of our late presidents are buried in accordance with the country's set precedent, that is a common law and protocols. We give accolades to the Gauteng High Court of Pretoria, South Africa, for delivering judgment in favor of Zambians who wish to give their gallant leader a dignified send-off on the African soil which he presided over as a Republican president. Nonetheless, however, the continuous resistance by the Lungu family over the repatriation of his remains from South Africa and the insistence that the current Republican president, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, should not be in attendance or anywhere near Mr. Lungu's casket makes many Zambians wonder as to what exactly the Lungu family are trying to hide.
Economic analyst Yusuf Dodia says the recent appreciation of the kwacha is expected to translate into cheaper goods and improve purchasing power for Zambians in the coming months. Speaking in an interview with Camnet News, Mr. Dodia noted that the local currency had strengthened from around 28 kwacha to the United States dollar at the end of May to about 23 kwacha by the close of July, marking an appreciation of just over 20%. Mr. Dodia attributed the currency's gains not to a temporary Bank of Zambia intervention, but to the export proceeds tracking framework introduced by the Ministry of Finance in 2023 and more aggressively implemented from early 2025. He projected that if export volumes remain steady, the kwacha could gain further value over the next 6 to 12 months, providing a more stable environment for price reductions across various sectors. Mr. Dodia added that traders may initially be cautious in lowering prices until they are confident the exchange rate stability will hold.
In 2025, we've seen the economy take a twist for the better, in the sense that by the end of May, we were seeing that the exchange rate was 28 kwacha to $1. But as we entered into June, from the 1st of June to the end of July, we have seen the exchange rate steadily record a stronger kwacha, from 28 kwacha to a rate of about 23 kwacha to $1 at the end of July. Now this means that the kwacha appreciated by about just over 20%, and a 20% appreciation of the kwacha has a significant impact on the economy in several ways. The most direct impact on the economy has been that if you were buying air tickets or something online in foreign currency, you would immediately feel the benefit of it. And for those Zambians who can afford to fly, going from Lusaka to Johannesburg was costing about 9,000 kwacha, but as soon as the exchange rate moved in favor of a stronger kwacha, we are seeing that the price of a ticket to Johannesburg has dropped from 9,000 kwacha to somewhere around 6,500 kwacha. So the immediate impact has been on direct foreign currency transactions. We've then also seen that there are some medium-term benefits that came out of it. The medium term are basically in the area of electronics, cosmetics, those products which are being imported through air freight. Because they are small, high value items, they tend to be imported through air rather than by sea.
ZCCM Investments or Holdings has handed over to government 91 million kwacha dividend for the 2024 financial year, more than double last year's 41 million kwacha. Speaking during the handover in Lusaka, ZCCM IH Board Chairperson Festo Msonda said the dividend was part of the company's ongoing efforts to return value to shareholders, adding that this was the 10th consecutive year the Ministry of Finance had received a payout. He said the company's strong performance was supported by both increased dividends from investments and the introduction of the royalty revenue stream, which ensured more predictable returns. Meanwhile, Finance and National Planning Minister Stumbeko Msokotwane described this as progress, crediting the government's policy shift from the traditional dividend model, which depended on whether major stakeholders declared dividends, to a royalty model that guaranteed regular cash inflows. Dr. Msokotwane also highlighted the mining sector's recovery, pointing to the resolution of Mopani Copper Mines' $1.7 billion debt and the sector's return to stability after years of decline. The payment represents the Ministry of Finance 17.4% shareholding in the mining investment company.
Ministry of Finance share of this amount is 91 million kwacha. Last year, we made the dividend payment of 41 million kwacha to the Ministry of Finance for the financial year ending 2023. The check we are presenting today marks the 10th consecutive year that ZCCMIH is paying a dividend to the Ministry of Finance. The dividends declared for the 2024 financial year bring the total dividends paid to all ZCCMIH shareholders since 2015 to over 2.2 billion kwacha. Honorable Minister, ladies and gentlemen, our ability to declare these dividends to shareholders is a result of our sustained resilience and profitability over the years. Not only have we continued to push for increased dividends from our investments, but we have also introduced a royalty revenue stream for the company.
I think a positive thing is what you have just indicated, Mr. Chairman. Last year there was a lot of, was last year or the other year, there was a lot of controversy when we shifted the model of operation from dividend model to a royalty model. Under the dividend model, the ZCCM could only get cash dividends. Number one, if the major shareholders of that company declared dividends. In certain years, they made profit, but they decided that no dividend would be declared and the profits would be plowed back in the business.
2 people have died while another sustained serious injuries in separate road traffic accidents recorded in Lusaka province on August 11, 2025. Zambia Police Service Assistant Public Relations Officer Godfrey Chilabi says in the first incident, Chongwe Police Station attended to a fatal accident at the ZNS Bridge along Great East Road around 1830 hours, where 16-year-old motorcyclist Edward Mwerwa, riding a non-registered King Boss motorbike, was hit by an unknown vehicle that fled the scene. The body is lying in the Chongwe District Hospital mortuary awaiting post-mortem, and police have launched investigations to track down the driver. Meanwhile, in a separate incident in Kawangwe at 15 miles along the Great North Road, 35-year-old pedestrian Providence Habalulema died after being hit by a motorbike ridden by 28-year-old Lyson Zulu around 1930 hours. Her body was taken to a University Teaching Hospital, UTH mortuary, for post-mortem.
2 people died in separate road traffic accidents, while 1 sustained serious injury in Lusaka province on August 11, 2025. Chongwe Police Station responded to a fatal accident at the ZNS Bridge along Great East Road around 1830 hours. A motorcyclist, Edward Mwelwa, age 16, riding an unregistered King Boss motorbike, was fatally injured after being hit by an unknown vehicle that fled the scene. Police have launched an investigation into the incident. The body is at Chongwe District Hospital mortuary awaiting post-mortem. In Kawangwe area at 15 miles along Great North Road, police responded to a fatal accident around 1930 hours. A female pedestrian, Providence Habalulema, age 35, was fatally injured after being hit by a motorbike ridden by Lyson Zulu, aged 28. The body is at UTH mortuary awaiting post-mortem. Meanwhile, Matelo Police Station recorded a serious injury accident that occurred around 7 hours on Mungwi Road near Pepsi Company. A Dongfeng AA 7873, which was being driven by Charles Sinyangwe, aged 43, collided with a Volvo truck, registration number BAK 5974, which was being driven by Mishek Mpande, aged 31. A pedestrian, Mary Njovu, aged 60, was struck and is admitted to the University Teaching Hospital. The Zambia Police Service urges all road users to follow road traffic rules and drive safely to prevent further accidents.
The Civil Society for Poverty Reduction, CSPR, has warned that the government suspension of the export tax on copper concentrate could lead to significant revenue losses and undermine funding for essential social programs. CSPR Executive Director Isabel Mkelabai says the decision made without adequate consultation or public disclosure of its economic implications raises concerns over fiscal stability and the equitable distribution of mining benefits. She cautions that without robust revenue from the mining sector, Zambia risks widening its budget deficit and limiting resources for critical areas such as health, education, and poverty alleviation. She stressed that the importance of transparency in the mining value chain, arguing that policy changes affecting mineral exports must be backed by verifiable production and export data. The organization has since called on the government to immediately publish independent audit findings on copper production, exports, and pricing to justify the tax suspension.
And through the Minister of Finance, Dr. Stumbeko Msokotwane, last week announced a 3-month suspension of the copper concentrate export tax, which will address the challenge that is being experienced by mining companies around smelting. And as a result, we did hear that there has been an accumulation of unprocessed copper concentrates. While this measure may seem to provide some short-term relief to affected operators, there are several critical issues that remain insufficiently clarified, and it is important for the government to provide explanations and justifications around this particular decision. Our view is that perhaps some of these questions may also warrant a very detailed technical assessment to, among other things, answer a number of questions. For example, how is the accumulated concentrate being monitored, especially in the absence of a fully functional Minerals Regulatory Commission? Additionally, since copper concentrates contain other minerals, what mechanisms are now being put in place to ensure proper monitoring and valuation to prevent revenue loss? It is our position that having transparency, accountability, and clarity about the criteria that has been used to establish the copper concentrate quantities and the mines that are involved, including the details on the current carrying capacity of all the smelters in the country, is essential. Currently, we seem to be relying on stated volumes of concentrates by the mines without a clear independent verification and tracking framework.
A civil servant in Solwezi is making waves in the agricultural sector, this time not from behind a desk but in the field. Musaiwe Chulu, who works with the Ministry of Agriculture, has taken tomato production to a new level, cultivating 16 hectares of tomatoes and producing over 2,000 boxes weekly. He thanked the government for creating an enabling environment for farmers to utilize water through drip irrigation. The farmer was speaking to Nais when he hosted a drip irrigated tomato field day organized by Netafim and Amiran. And officiating at the field day, acting provincial agricultural coordinator for Northwestern Province, Kelvin Piri, challenged other farmers to emulate Mr. Chulu's lead to enhance food security. The event attracted farmers from Solwezi, Mushindamo, and Kalumbila districts eager to learn and replicate Chulu farm success in their own fields. Nais filed in this report.
A civil servant in Solwezi is turning heads in the agriculture sector by turning hectares of land into a successful tomato farm. Musaiwale Chulu is not just producing results, but also inspiring a wave of vegetable farmers across Northwestern Province. A civil servant under the Ministry of Agriculture, Mr. Chulu has doubled his cultivation from 8 hectares in 2024 to 16 hectares this year, producing over 2,000 boxes of tomatoes every week. His commitment echoes the Republican President's call for all citizens to participate in agriculture. To showcase the benefits of climate-smart farming, Mr. Chulu hosted a drip-irrigated tomato field day organized by Netafim and Amiran.
This time around, we are doing 8, which is staggered, 2 months in between. And out of the 8 hectares, we're able to harvest 2,000 boxes to 3,000 boxes in a week.
The two companies demonstrated modern irrigation and plant nutrition systems designed to boost productivity in a changing climate.
And I work specifically at how do we empower small farmers become profitable farmers. And to do that, we use the technologies behind drip irrigations. A few years ago, Mr. Chulu started as a small farmer, just a few lines, but he's expanded into a really nice commercial operation.
As Amiran, we have partnered with this farmer for some time. You can see the drippers that he's using. He's been getting them from us. Also, the seedlings that is growing for his tomatoes, he gets them from us.
Officiating the event, acting provincial agricultural coordinator for Northwestern Province, Kelvin Piri, challenged farmers to emulate the host farmers' innovation and help boost national food security.
So we have this horticultural field day at this Chulu farms today, so that we farmers, we have to learn from Mr. Chulu's experience.
Lieutenant Colonel Crispin Seleji of Kamitonte, Zambia National Service in Solwezi, says Mr. Chulu's efforts reflect the kind of action the Republican President is urging citizens to take in agriculture.
So as the Zambia National Service, we participate in field days in order to learn what others are doing, so that we also participate and produce like the command has directed us.
Attending the field day is seen as a transformative experience for many farmers.
I've learned a lot of things from this farm, more especially on the drip. I want also to start first of all with the tulimas.
We came here to have knowledge on farming. We've learned really quite a lot of things today, starting from the drip irrigation to the fertilizer distribution.
Clifford Tuta, reporting in Solwezi, Northwestern Province.
Isoka Member of Parliament Marjorie Nakaponda has urged Hyungjan Investment to fast-track the construction of Michael Chilufya Sata Girls' School to improve access to quality education for girls in the district. She said the delays have negatively impacted learners who are currently sharing facilities with Isoka Boys Secondary School. The project includes 30 classrooms, 27 3-bedroom staff houses, 2 executive houses, a kitchen, a clinic, science laboratories, a perimeter wall, 4 dormitory blocks, accommodating 4 bunk beds per room, 4 ablution blocks, and a dining hall. Ms. Nakaponda welcomed the resumption of works and stressed the need for timely completion to provide a safe and conducive learning environment. She noted that having a dedicated girls' school will help curb early pregnancies and child marriages, which have risen since the shared learning arrangement began. Here's a report.
A decade-long wait may soon be over for the Michael Chirufya STEM School in Isoka. Isoka Member of Parliament Honorable Marjorie Nakaponda, who visited the construction site, praised the Haujana investment for the
inchito zikupitikicete nyene nukuomba akuombi chete kani nyene on a site or ama Chinese. I'm concerned about this school. I want this school to be completed so that my girls can come at this school, and this is going to prevent them from getting married early. We want to end early marriage.
However, she expressed concern over the slow delivery of materials, especially iron sheets, stressing that government wants the project finished by December.
I'm going to talk with the Minister of Infrastructure, also the Minister of Education, so that they can tell them to start bringing material on time. Because it's just that when materials start coming on time, they are going to complete this. By December, it will be completed.
Site foreman Geoffrey Sikanika remains confident that the deadline will be made.
Otherwise, inchito kuno Michael Chirufya sata irenda fibwino challenge fyo tukwete ni material ko ile fo acho tulepembera pa malata ngachakopa ti Africa ni by December kuti twapwisha bana besikulu baisa.
Government re-engaged the contractor in March this year after the project had stalled for 10 years. Wantura Nyondo in Isoka District, Muchinga Province.
Stakeholders in Central Province have commended government for the engagement on the review of 3 pieces of legislation calling the process inclusive. One of the stakeholders, Alinuwila Singoi, an inspector at Zambia Compulsory Standards Agency, commended government through the Ministry of Agriculture for being inclusive in the process of reviewing 3 critical pieces of legislation. Mr. Singoi says that inclusion of different stakeholders shows government commitment in getting diverse views before passing laws. Meanwhile, Assistant Director in the Department of Agribusiness, Peter Zulu, disclosed that government wants the process of reviewing of the 3 pieces of legislation, namely the Food Reserve Agency Act, the Agricultural Credits Act, and the Agricultural Marketing Bill, to be private sector driven. NICE now reports.
Government has embarked on the process of reviewing 3 pieces of legislation in a bid to address challenges faced in the agriculture sector.
Initially, we came here about less than 2 months ago, where we were soliciting for opinions of stakeholders in the agriculture sector on whether we need to review these 3 pieces of legislation. The 3 pieces are the Agriculture Marketing Bill, the Agriculture Credit Act, and the Food Reserve Agency Act. The Agriculture Credit Act has been in existence since 2010, but it has not been fully actualized. We've come with all the 3 pieces of legislation with proposed changes that we collected the first time. So stakeholders have once more been called together to look at these 3 pieces of legislation. Basically, we are saying, are the changes that you requested and submitted, are they captured?
The private sector have applauded government through the Ministry of Agriculture for being inclusive. ZICSA Inspector Alinuwila Singoi echoed his voice.
The initiative that has been taken by the Ministry of Agriculture is quite commendable, because in most cases actually in Zambia, people tend to cry foul to say we are not included when these things were being drafted. But this step that they have taken is actually a very, very good step, because no one will come and cry foul to say someone was actually left out. Because when I look at the different stakeholders that have come together for this discussion, it can tell you to say actually government means well and they want to exhaust all the ideas.
For Sidiko sales agronomist Simon Kalenga, they are here to make submissions on behalf of farmers.
One of our core values at Sidco is farmer centricity, and what we are submitting here is on behalf of our farmers, which has to be favorable to our farmers. So we would like to see the government putting the road network as part of the infrastructure and part of the submission that we wish to see as SIDCO.
A farmer from Kabwe, Anna Kaongolo, deemed the review process as important.
As we have gathered here, we are making our own laws, which are making us be able to understand and how we are supposed to improve on our farming.
Helen Witty reporting from Kabwe, Central Zambia.
Economist Kelvin Chisanga has warned that Zambia's mining sector continues to suffer from policy inconsistency, which threatens investor confidence and undermines the country's long-term economic growth prospects. Mr. Chisanga points to the government's repeated short-term fiscal measures, including the suspension of export taxes on copper concentrates and gemstones, as evidence of a lack of strategic discipline. He notes that while the government advocates for value addition and local industrialization, the frequent waivers on export duties encourage the export of raw minerals instead. This contradiction, he says, raises serious concerns about the credibility of government policies and sends mixed signals to investors who seek predictable and stable regulatory environments. Mr. Tsanga further questioned why critical infrastructure such as smelters had not been prioritized earlier, suggesting that the current measures are reactive rather than part of a coherent long-term strategy.
Different activities within the economy, and it has a larger scale which contributes to the DGP profile, as well as also export side in terms of foreign export, revenue and proceeds. So going by what basically is spraying out in the mining sector, it brings a number of key aspects that we should be able to speak, especially when you look at the copper export tax implication that it brings on the table with regards to what we're able to see where there are a number of changes that we have witnessed in the mining sector. Of course, the export duty waivers are contradicting the value-added agenda which we should be able to see. The issue of suspension of 10% of copper concentrate export duty, which is a temporary measure in the case, directly, undermine the country's long-term call for local processing. And much to this also, we are coming from a position where we were shadow boxing policies. I think we did for almost like 15 times, changing 10 times our policy within the mining sector, and this also gave a very bad impression to the production and output of the mining activities and performance. So again, if we reflect earlier this year, we had a suspension of 15% on precious stones, meaning the precious mineral export tax was also something that we saw, coming very strong from that perspective.
Western Province Provincial Fisheries Officer Noah Sinkala is appealing to NGONGO residents to venture into fish production, which can transform and improve their livelihood. Mr. Sinkala said this during Kupangela Moho Mount Pepos Cooperative Fish Harvest held in Mongo district of Western Province. Mr. Sinkala said government is actively promoting fish farming as a key sector for economic development and food security. He further said Western Province has a rise in production, including improved fingerling supply and enhanced infrastructure storage and open market. Meanwhile, Kupangela Moho fish farming chairperson Luka Kalenga is urging other residents to venture into agriculture or form cooperatives which can sustain them. Musiewo Kabila now reports.
The Zambian government is actively promoting fish farming as a key sector for economic development, food security and job creation. Government is investing in initiatives to boost fish production, improve fingering supply and enhance infrastructure for aquaculture. And Western Province Provincial Fisheries Officer Noah Sinkara says government, his commitment is evidently through policies, projects and the partnership aimed at transforming the fisheries and aquaculture policy.
Names are Noah Sinkala. I'm the Provincial Fisheries Officer for Western Province. So, as a department, when we see our farmers starting a project and then finishing it with a successful harvest, it gives us a lot of morale to even work harder, because it is because of our effort. I can also just call upon those who have got doubts in investing in aquaculture in Western Province, just like what my provincial coordinator, my district coordinator from Mongo has mentioned. Let's come on board, because those challenges which you are facing, including linkages to funding sources, there will be.
And the Mongo District Fisheries and Livestock Coordinator, Dr. Mukuni Mubita, gave an emphasis on the importance of fish farming.
Increasing pressure on our natural water bodies with regards to fishing. This will assist with easing the pressure on the fish species on our natural water bodies, and this will provide the much needed protein available on the market throughout the year. Because fish farming benefits the farmer even during the fishing ban, when we do not allow fish to be caught from the natural water bodies. So I urge each and every fish farmer to forge ahead.
Mino kupangira Mumot People's Cooperative Chairperson Luka Kalenga and a youth had this to say.
Mkakutula habili kashilimo. Chwale lunani matata lunani kwanu. Matata lunani kimusika. Unafai bali tapiza luna halifeli kwa kuli mkapanga losi. Musika lutoka kulikando la bani musika. Basinaye. Mane mingendenge ya Yesu anashinda ye. Nani ibona kuli yeminde mane yafumisha mane haiba muishe zangana. Yafita neve.
Mi fish farming ilutusamo kungata ngechwana lukutuzita pizaluna lwalekisa lwaikavela ngena chwana science kwa skolo mashiringa yana itusa kwa skolo chene za encourage babamu mayouth ngena kuli bakona kuikenza mama cooperative as wana ngechwana bakena zinaba kulima rice kaza kulima that's a benefit yabe fumana ma challenges akweza kulipanu.
Musiebo Kabila, Camnet News in Mongo District, Western Province.
Camnet TV main news showing on Topstar channel 106, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube and on the Mainstream app. We take a break, we'll be right back.
For immediate coverage of any breaking or latest news in Zambia and around the world on Camnet Television, call the numbers on your screen. Camnet Television, bringing to your screens fair news, impartial news, credible and reliable news all the time. Get the whole truth on Camnet World News. Camnet Television, not just another channel.
Enjoy the benefits of an instant loan with us ranging from 1,000 kwacha to 750,000 kwacha paid express once collateral is viewed, valued and verified. Call us on 0763 595 359 or 0779 432 993. Classified Financial Express, here as your financial friend.
Potatoes, the unsung heroes of flavor. From crispy chips to creamy mash, potatoes are the versatile superstars of your kitchen. Grown with love by our dedicated workforce drawn from around the community of Palabana. Savenda Farm's commitment is to see to it that we have potatoes that are grown right, healthy, big and tasty. For that quick fix or big celebration or that meal that brings family together, top chefs rely on the Savenda potato to create culinary masterpieces. And for others, it's that icebreaker to a delightful conversation. So, embrace the magic of Savenda potatoes. They're not just a side dish, they're the heart and soul of your kitchen. Savenda, save nations, develop Africa.
Are you looking for a reliable and efficient courier company with international standards? Then let UBZ Courier, your trusted partner in swift and secure deliveries, be your ultimate choice. Whether it's a small package or a hefty consignment, UBZ Courier handles it all, locally and internationally. Our modern call center ensures personalized attention for every client. For seamless deliveries within Zambia and beyond, trust UBZ Courier. Call us now on +260 763 062 680 or visit us at plot number 15 Mwapona Road, Woodland, Lusaka, Zambia. UBZ Courier, a world-class brand that can be trusted.
Every Monday to Thursday afternoon, join us for the Lunchtime Cafe. We get to bring to you emerging stories making the headlines, midday news, and we remind you of what political leaders and governance actors said back in the days. In Forgotten Stories, we emphasize to you the importance of eating healthy foods and leading healthy lifestyles on the Nutrition Corner. Get the latest updates in sports and critical interviews. Because we value your contribution to national matters, we accord you an opportunity to share your perspectives during the viewers' reactions. The Camnet TV Lunchtime Cafe is an all-inclusive buffet. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Welcome back, and now in international news. The death of a 1-month-old baby reportedly following complications from female genital mutilation (FGM) has sparked widespread outrage in the Gambia. The infant was rushed to a hospital in the capital, Banjul, on Sunday after suffering severe bleeding. Police confirmed she was pronounced dead on arrival. While an autopsy is pending, many in the country have linked her death to FGM-related injuries. Prominent women's rights activist Fatou Baude condemned the practice as a brutal, senseless act, writing on X, formerly Twitter, "Shame on anyone pushing to decriminalize this violence. FGM is not culture, it's cruelty." Baude's NGO, Women in Liberation and Leadership, described the incident as a grave violation of the child's fundamental human rights. Here's a roundup of international stories.
Sudan's humanitarian crisis deepens as paramilitary forces attack displacement camp already suffering from famine. On Monday, the Rapid Support Forces launched assault near El Fasher, killing at least 40 people according to local rights groups. The Abu Shauk camp, home to 450,000 displaced people, was invaded with residents reportedly targeted inside their homes. Satellite images from Yale University show RSF vehicles in the area, while activists accuse fighters of blocking escape routes and using ethnic slurs. Sudan's army claims it repelled the RSF, destroying 16 vehicles. but the RSF insists it gained grounds. Meanwhile, the United Nations warns of famine. Over 60 people, mostly women and children, died of malnutrition in just 1 week in El Fasher. The war, which began in 2023, has now displaced 12 million people and pushed thousands to starvation. With aid access blocked and violence escalating, survivors face an unimaginable choice: flee or starve. Egypt's inflation shows signs of easing, with the annual urban rate dropping to 13.9% in July, down from 14.9% in June. Monthly inflation fell more sharply, hitting a -0.6%, driven by declining food prices. Nationally, inflation eased to 13.1%, with the central bank forecasting stabilization in 2025 and a gradual decline toward 7% by late 2026. The Central Bank of Egypt warns risks remain, including slower price adjustment and fiscal measures. Since 2017, Egypt has pursued flexible inflation, aiming to anchor expectations amid economic shifts.
The death of a baby girl who was a victim of female genital mutilation has sparked outrage in the Gambia. The 1-month-old infant was rushed to hospital in the capital of Banjul on Sunday after she developed severe bleeding. Autopsy results are still awaited, but many people in the country have linked the baby's death to complications from female genital mutilation, also known as FGM. Police said 2 women had been arrested for their alleged involvement in the event, and local rights groups and officials have emphasized the need to protect children from FGM. The Gambia banned female genital mutilation in 2015, but there have been few prosecutions and this cultural practice remains widespread. In the West African state, 75% of women and girls between 15 and 49 have undergone some form of FGM, according to the United Nations.
And finally, in sports news this evening, the CHIPOLOPOLO boys are getting ready to compete against Morocco in the upcoming Total Energies Chan 2024 match. Team Dr. Wesley NGONGO has shared an important health update on Wilson Chisala, who got hurt during the last game against Angola. He suffered an injury to his neck and did not take part in yesterday's practice because he is currently receiving treatment. Meanwhile, another player, Benedict Chepeshi, was also injured. He has a cut above his eye and is also undergoing care. Both players got hurt during the last game that the CHIPOLOPOLO team played against Angola. Dr. NGONGO mentioned that apart from the 2 players with injuries, the rest of the team is in good health and ready to play in the upcoming match against Morocco. The CHIPOLOPOLO team, under the guidance of Coach Abraham Grant, has been busy getting ready for the upcoming matches. Team Dr. Wesley NGONGO is also on the team, helping to keep the players healthy and in good shape for their games. Sincere apologies, viewers, for playing a wrong clip. However, that sporting item brings us to the end of this edition of Main News on Camnet TV. But before we go, a recap of stories that made headlines. Governance expert urges LUNGU family to accept court ruling on ECL repatriation. CSPR warns copper concentrate export tax suspension could erode revenue and threaten social spending. KWACHA appreciation to ease prices and boost economy, says expert. Death of baby girl after suspected FGM sparks outrage in the Gambia. CHIPOLOPOLO team Dr. Wesley NGONGO provides health update ahead of Morocco match. We now look at the Camnet verse for the day, coming from the book of Psalms 119, verse 11. It reads, Thy word have I hid in mine heart, that I might not sin against thee. We end the reading and we end the main news on Camnet TV. But dear viewer, like always, do remember that Camnet TV is not just another channel. Now broadcasting on TopStar channel 106, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and on the Mainstream app. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Tapelo Joe Smarter. Good evening and God bless.